Hi, my name is Owen, and for my passion project, I did baking. I'm going to be telling you what I learned about technology and baking. What I learned researching baking. Whatever you're baking will cook after you take it out of the oven. Yeast expands when it is heated up. You use a liquid measuring cup for liquids and regular measuring cups for dry ingredients. You scrape the top of the dry ingredients with a knife to make sure the measuring is accurate. What I learned about tech before I began baking. There are two different kinds of ovens, convection and conventional. Convection ovens have a fan that distributes the heat and will cook things faster. You should use an oven thermometer because oven temperatures are often not accurate. Don't stack cookie sheets in the oven. If you try to bake 2 batches of cookies at once by stacking your cookie trays, they will not cook properly because the heat will not circulate. Cookies should bake on the middle rack. Cookies on the bottom rack will likely burn. The top rack won't allow the bottoms of the cookies to get brown, but the middle rack will. My first creation was making bread with a bread machine. What I learned about making bread with the bread machine. It keeps the house cooler because when you use the oven, it heats up the house a lot more. The bread machine is a lot easier than using the oven to make bread. The machine times the dough rising and mixes the bread for you. Next, I baked scalloped potatoes. What I learned about baking with my dinner with my mom. Everything has to be precise as possible or it will fall apart or will not turn out how you thought it would. I also learned how to use the food processor. It made it faster and easier. It has attachments that slice things like a mandolin. Third, I baked cookies. What I learned about baking cookies. Cookies will spread themselves out once in the oven. Cookies cook best when they are on the middle rack because the bottoms will brown but not burn. My last recipe before creating my own recipe was cupcakes. What I learned after baking cupcakes. You need to use your right size cupcake pan and use the right size cupcake liners. Mix wet ingredients in one bowl and dry ingredients in another. Do not overmix when putting your dry and wet ingredients together. For my creation, I made what I called a fake cake. What I learned creating my own chocolate-coated bread cake. Yeast is used in only bread and not desserts, so I made a dessert using yeast. Texture matters. Bread and hard marshmallows have a weird texture together. Chocolate tastes good on bread, but the ratio of chocolate to bread should be more even. So in the future, I would use a square pan instead of a loaf pan. What I learned about tech after working on this project. There are many tools to help make baking easier, such as stand mixers, food processors, convection ovens, and bread machines. Thermometers are super helpful. Sometimes it's hard to tell if something is finished, but a thermometer will give you a definite answer. I learned how to use Adobe Premiere and Photoshop for my mother and YouTube videos. My least favorite part was making these voiceovers. Thanks for watching me learning about technology and baking.